Hey there, Dave here with today's quick tip. Today's quick tip is about drawing lightly versus drawing too hard. Often when people draw, they're trying to make a nice looking picture. And when we're drawing, if we just go at our picture and we're drawing with a very hard line, and we just want to keep making that line all over the place until we have our drawing, well, what if I make a mistake? Oh, I actually want this here. I don't want this little bit. So then I take my eraser, see, from the end of this pencil, and I erase it. You can see there's a little dark mark there. Now that happens when I'm just drawing too hard from the beginning. And if I did that all over the place, what do you think my picture would look like? It would look like a big mess, because I would just have these kind of dark marks all over the place. Imagine them everywhere I didn't want them. This whole thing would look like just a big mess. What if I didn't want this whole piece over here? I wanted to put a new end on it or something like that. I actually can't now. Now this picture seems to be stuck like this. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to draw lightly at first. So let's draw the same thing, but I'm going to draw it lightly, which means not putting a lot of pen or pencil pressure down. So I'm not going to press very hard. I'm just going to try to press lightly, and this takes some time to develop. It took me years to figure out really how to do that. Or maybe not years, but it definitely took practice. So I'm drawing very lightly. And at this stage I can scribble if I want. Okay? I don't have to necessarily draw nice perfect lines. Let's call this a sketch phase. Okay, so now at this point I get to decide if this is what I want. Do I want this to be square, or do I want it to maybe be curved at the end? Well, if that's what I want, then maybe now I can go in, I can erase, and look, that looks pretty nice. So now if I actually want a nice thick line like this, now I go over it and I redraw it with a nice solid line. And this thing applies to our copia books as well. Let's take a copia page. And what happens if I draw lightly? I'm going to start here on his nose. So I'm not going to press down hard first. I'm just going to press down kind of lightly. I'm going to make sure I have the line that I actually want before I really commit and I make it a nice hard line. I say, okay, I do want that line there. I do understand what I'm doing here. And maybe, let's say I'll put a line up here. And maybe I actually do want this line down here to be thick and nice and pressed really hard. Well, now I can do it, and I'm not going to risk necessarily hurting the end result. So in the future, try to draw lightly before you go really thick with your lines, and you'll be happier and you'll feel like you have a lot more control over your drawing. So thanks for joining me on today's quick tip, and come back for some more.